to go to public. I put it off last time because of the corner issue. I got a piece of my hair.
I can't get a hold of Jim football. I don't know where he is. I was trying all day.
And he's got paper copies of that, which would be easier for people to read if he would give us paper copies. If I say it wrong, maybe that's if he said that. I have the booklet that he got the book.
I have one.
Tell him we give you several sort of. You did see the. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's rather long. Okay.
Well, that was the first.
We'll do IDA, we'll do IDA and then, CDC, then LDC.
You wanted the CDC first, all you do is pay the bills.
Well, we're not. You want to do CDC first? Okay.
I don't say you medicine.
Government. That means we have to find a whole new document for our following.
I think you're rolling.
Okay, I'll stop it. Wait, I can't find it.
Yeah. There's your major amount of just we'll have it.
I'm gonna do IDA first then.
All right, so
Okay. Since I have. Okay, we are. Now you're messing with me. All right, we're ready to go. All right, Judy can go. All right, thank you. Good morning, everyone. This is the Glens Industrial Development Agency. I'm Judy Calogero. I'm starting the meeting. We have a quorum with Mayor Diana Plummer, Denise Conklin, and Jane Reed. Three of our members are absent today. John Cordy's very good, and Tim Larson, and we'll make sure they get all the minutes. We're also joined by our staff and key advisors and consultants, and a gentleman who's got a project that's pending with us, Joe.
Yes.
Is here today and will talk with us in a few minutes. Let's start with Jeff and CEO report. Jeff.
Okay, just a couple of things that are going further down that we'll discuss. The Catch Fest, we've scheduled, Mark and I scheduled to meet with Alex from Catch Fest to go over sort of a proposal. We have a couple of times scheduled for next week. So the idea is to sort of go over the process of how this will work. They've had access to the accounts for viewing purposes. So we'll make some recommendations about how we move forward. The other part about that, and down here further as far as resolutions is, we still need to set up the ICS accounts. And we could talk about that when we get down to the resolution we have there for administrative reports. You'll also know, I'd like to ask the board to sort of hold a resolution for Foothills. I asked Joe Lucci from Foothills to come in and talk about the Warren Street project here a little bit. They submitted a draft of application.
It's Warren LLC. It's
Correct.
listed as Lost
I'm sorry, the official name, Lost on Warren LLC, exactly. So I'm gonna have him talk to us and get down the project reports. But I'd like to sort of ask the board to table that resolution, I guess, at least for this month. And we also have, I've handed out, we could talk when we get there, the RFP that I had given everybody a month or so ago, for the farm. You can see the resolution, the discussion we have down there as well.
Okay, and we don't have that RFP
think, no one more than us.
I wouldn't probably not. That's what I'm saying.
Nobody more than us makes it develop, but we also understand it's probably, realistically, a 10-year process.
Yeah, we could be the first ones in, but we know that there's a time frame to that.
Yeah, I think, it's that when you get down that far right now, I don't know that it's particularly walkable. It's like there's not a ton of foot traffic there.
Right.
But I also don't think you're in the situation you're in over on Main Street,
Right.
where it's really a driving corridor. And you guys are probably a first mover really in that one case too. I imagine over time that the character of that corridor may be more like what you have than what's there currently. So it may evolve, but I think we're probably not in quite you may not find it quite as difficult, here as we start moving down the one.
Yeah, in an ideal world, I think restaurant would be great there. Well, this is kind of for the anchor for
Yeah.
the expansion of the downtown area, but again, I don't want to commit to anything or get too hopeful right off the bat.
Well, you always think the right kind of place, especially if you have 64 people living right up above you.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions for Joe? Any additional questions or comments?
From us, you are seeking sales tax abatement, what else?
Pilot and mortgage tax.
Mortgage tax too? Cool.
And you've got another budget. You can send that over to me. We'll take a look at that. And
Yes, I think Joe might have sent this over yesterday afternoon,
I know.
but I will, if not, I'll
That's fine.
get
I'll
something over.
check it.
And this, again, we took a really deep dive into the upcoming rents that we're going to be competing against because
Right.
we understand that's going to be a driving force of our project.
Sure.
And you've reported what those rents will be in the documents you sent.
I believe so.
So your budget must reflect that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Great. All right, so I'll work with Jeff to go through that and hopefully we'll get something to the board for the next meeting.
Perfect. Thank you very much for allowing me to come in and speak on the project.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you. Okay. The, I don't believe we have, oh no, let's do Smart Park.
Yep.
Yep, okay, sorry.
Okay, so I had sent over, I don't know, maybe before the last meeting, a draft of the RFP that I wanted to put out for the farm. I've been in touch with about, actually 8 to 10 people who sort of expressed some interest. But I sent this out to have everybody take a look at this. I did get some feedback from Kara.
Yep.
I did get some feedback from Kara. You can elaborate a little bit if you want to, Kara, but I think the premise was, what I was trying to do is to try and find some way to sort of work somebody into the project where they would sort of take on all the variable costs. We could help them sort of, cover the fixed costs for a short period of time, a probationary period. And then assuming that they were confident in what they were doing, they could sort of take over the entire operation. And we would sort of negotiate some sort of a back out for the IDA where, we're perhaps get some sort of recovery of funds, but something we can negotiate. The idea is to get this operating and have somebody make it sort of a viable business. The issue I think you had, Kara, was that we have to be careful in providing something for free. Was that
For nothing.
premise?
Yeah, we're prohibited from doing any sort of like gifting of anything. So
And was this? It sounded like you were saying this was with respect to like us paying the rent for the period of this.
yeah, I mean, I think it was just really, my review was basically the semantics of the RFP as putting it out there, like that's something we will do or could potentially do. I think if it's packaged as something when we're discussing this with someone that is ultimately gonna be the person, then we can frame it in a way that works best. But I don't, my I guess opinion was that we shouldn't put it out there as an example that this is what we could.
I think you missed. I think you only taught me one side of these things.
What do you mean? It's only 3 pages, right?
It's 5.
Oh,
I have the 2 pages. Like,
I'll repeat it for everybody. Sorry, I didn't know it was double
it's
subject.
okay. Fortunately, you made a bunch of extra ones, so that we have that.
Well, we don't have any of the
Right.
3, 4, 7, and 8.
Okay. Yeah. Well, just to go over the point in question, what I had sort of suggested was And I just said, for instance, a probationary model might work as follows: initial 6-month term, operator assumes all operational expenses, including cost of materials, supplies, labor, and utility costs, no base rent. Essentially, we would cover the $500 a month for this 6-month period. And then we'd have performance benchmarks, and they would report financials. The second one, they would then start paying the rent as well for another 6 months. And at the end of that year, you could then say, we would negotiate some agreement for them to transfer the assets to.
Yeah, I mean, we could potentially do something like that so long as we had provisions in there that we have the right, the exclusive right to take the project back if they're not fulfilling their obligations and things of that nature. So it was more of my comments where we didn't want to give the impression that this was gonna be, hey, you could go in there and take it over and we'll cover this for a year and see how,
Sure.
yeah, we need to like maintain some control if that's what we're doing.
Okay.
So my suggestion is this, if you guys would be okay with this, we have drafts of this, both, I think a digital, and then we have a partial paper copy of it. I'm fine with this getting done as long as Kara signs off on it, if you guys would be okay with that. So once Kara signs off on the RFP, I think it would be okay for Jeff to release it. Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because anything is gonna come back to the board for
Sure.
final
Cool,
approval
okay.
anyway. So yeah, there's no issue with putting out the RFP at this point.
What I'd like to do is get something, if I could, back to you that I would release 1 month from now.
So, I make a motion that, Jeff can release the RFP once Kara signs off on the final version. And that we would get a copy of it, and that you would be able to release that and report to us what the, results are from that. Hopefully at the next board meeting, if not shortly thereafter. Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays or abstentions? There being none, the motion is passed, and hope you guys can get that done maybe this week, we'll see, and let us know. All right, any other business?
I do have one thing. I had asked Mark about this, but the recordings that we're doing here at these meetings, the city pays, the city budget pays for the recordings for the planning board and the zoning board and the common council, but we're also paying for the recording of the LDC, IDA, CDC. And I just think that that bill should be transferred since it's this entity that's doing that, and I wanted to bring that up for discussion.
So, just before you came in and before the meeting started, these guys, we did talk about that. And Mark is going to put together the numbers
Okay,
for us
okay,
so that we can approve a resolution in, July.
okay,
And he's gonna
Thank
make sure that we've got the money in the budget to cover the expense
okay,
and then, prepare a resolution. So,
thank you.
yes, so that's what's gonna get done, and then we'll, bring it back up if that's okay. So we'll be a little bit behind, but
Just as a point of reference,
ready for
is
tonight.
this, since these are all technically for 3 or 4 agencies, does it have to be necessarily like parsed out to each of the?
I was
individual
wondering
agencies?
about how that was gonna work with the CDC.
Right.
Could it be, I mean, I would hate to have to go through the whole borrowing and process. I mean, is there something, for instance, I mean, to be totally honest with you, the IDA has a pretty healthy budget. I'm guessing the IDA could probably, without knowing what these costs are, could probably cover this cost. Is that something that we could even do?
Well, why don't you guys work on that in the next month, take a look at that and what the budgets are and show us what the expense is, and then we can decide next month, okay?
Karen, can we reimburse the city rather than separate bill?
Oh, we have to have an agreement with them, but we could.
We could do that, which might be cleaner.
That's what I-
Then we don't have to break it out between the 4 agencies.
Yeah. It's broken out in the invoices we get, so we can just send,
Okay.
you know, would you like me to have our city attorney work with you to create some sort of agreement, or do you want to do it?
It doesn't matter to me, it's fine. Yeah. I can talk to her.
All right, okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right, any other business to come? All right, there being none, we are tentatively scheduled for Thursday, July 9th at 8 AM for our next meeting. And so, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right,
Second.
second, we are adjourned. Thank you. All right. So, you want me to do CDC or you want, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I am now, moving to open up the Glens Falls Civic Development Corporation Board meeting. For June 11th, we have a quorum and our staff and key advisors are here as well. We have before us the minutes from the regular meeting that was held on May 22nd, 2026. Any comments or questions on that? There being none, is there a motion to accept those minutes as presented?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays or abstentions? There being none, the minutes are approved and we'll get those posted. So the financial report for 5 months ending May 31, 2026 is attached. And it shows a balance in the account of $603.33. The main reason for our meeting today is to be able to pay our bills for our audits that were done earlier this year and completed, and we've got 2 bills outstanding for that, for a total of $5,450. So, Mark, I understand that the city has agreed to cover that expense and has moved monies into our account. They don't currently show up on our budget because the deposits weren't made until last week. Can you please go over that with the board members so they understand?
That we I deposited the city check, $6,500 on June 4th. So right now, we have, $7,133. Cut those 2 checks for Lutz and Anderson, $450, which will leave us $1,050 right now.
So what's the balance again?
Right now, the balance for that check deposited June 4th is $7,103.
103?
Yeah.
Okay. And yes, and total bills are 5,450. Okay?
Yep.
All right, any questions for Mark? The updated financial report for June, we'll report that, everyone will get a copy of that. But prior to that, the bills will be paid so that we can get that done. There are no comments for Mark. I asked that we approve the financial report that he submitted, both in terms of the written report ending May 31 and his update for June, which shows a balance of $7,103 in the account. Is there a motion to approve that report?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays or abstentions? There being none, the motion is approved and the report will get posted, and the updated June report will get posted, sent to us as well. Although I don't expect we'll need to meet in July, but we will get a copy of that. So the Schedule A, which is what you have in your agenda, is for Anderson Advisory, $1,350, and Lutz Zellick Zaranda, $4,100, for a total of $5,450. Is there a motion to pay those 2 bills?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays or abstentions? There being none, the motion is approved and the bills will get paid. Any other business, Jeff, for the CDC? No? There being none, is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second. All in favor, we're adjourned. Thank you. Mayor, hand it over to you.
Okay, so I will open up the Greater Glens Falls Local Development Corporation meeting for June 11th. We do have a quorum, and the first item on our list is approval of the minutes. Any questions or comments about the minutes? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the minutes are approved. The next item is the financial reports, 5 months ending May 31st. Mark, do you have any comments about that?
Activity in May of the June rent to 36 $8,087. One Fitzgerald bill for 192. The two bills hit 1,850 per lot. Jeff's first quarter waves 1,687. Hartford workers' comp 285. Flood insurance for 45 for 1,772. My March and April hours for 1,830 and 97 cents. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions from Mark or any questions about the financial report? Do we approve that?
Yeah.
Okay, is there a motion to
So moved.
second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the financial report is approved. The next item is the payment of bills. And if you look at Schedule A in your packet, it's Mark Toomey, Glens Falls Ventures, Fitzgerald, Morris, Baker Firth. Any question about the schedule of bills?
There's also ARPA.
The ARPA, the KZ Boba Tea,
Yep.
Adirondack Fabrication Services, and Florals Mercantile.
We have resolutions. I don't know if it's necessary to go through the resolutions further down in order to approve those, depending that
You mean the
the
ARPA's?
same of those there.
Maybe do them separately so you can, approve the resolutions first, I guess.
Skip the other.
So I'll make a motion to
Yeah.
approve the LDC operator, bills for totaling $10,056.18.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the schedule of bills are approved and we'll talk about the ARPAs one at a time. Okay, so we have the resolution about cash vest. We discussed this earlier with the IDA, so we can table this until next month when we have more information, if that's okay.
We'll be meeting with them about, with Alex from Catch Fest about that as well next week.
Okay,
And if you need check signers to be at that meeting, I mean, you could have me as well as Dennis, so. If you need, if that's necessary in order to have the meeting.
Mhm.
Okay,
okay. Is there a motion to table?
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
Yeah, we table it till
Yeah,
next month.
right. Okay, second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so that's tabled until next month. The next resolution is authorizing the payment of pre-approved bills. This is the same conversation we had earlier with the IDA. There are bills that we approve for the year in our budget, and we want to give the signers the ability to sign the checks to pay those bills even if we don't meet for some reason.
Sure.
Is there a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that is approved. Next, we'll go to project reports and resolutions, and the first one is 36 Inc.
Okay, so, the mayor and I have been meeting with actually sort of three groups of people, really it's two. I think, one is some folks who are looking at, operating, the ed. And I think we're very close to an agreement on that. So setting that one aside, we're also talking to, I think, some complementary operators for 36 Inc. In many ways, they're sort of looking at it somewhat similar, though not entirely, to what we've been looking at previously. They're looking at having a sort of very scaled down commercial kitchen, something that you could use for catering and things like that. Maybe some sort of pop-up kind of food operators. We're also looking at something akin to a maker space, some arts and crafts programs, different kinds of things. So we've had, I think the mayor would agree, we've had two really productive meetings. They've gotten much more productive in the recent past. There's been a lot of discussion. It's sort of a nebulous project. It's obviously in the process of being fit out here right now as we speak. So it's a little bit hard for people to sort of imagine the space, how it would be sort of laid out. But I think I would be not overly optimistic, I don't think, in saying that we may well have an agreement for the board for now to review.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it was hard we started out with very conceptual conversations because that's kind of what we were offering as a blank slate. We wanted ideas. And then we had 3 different people meeting with us and we ended up narrowing it down for that space to 2 that complement each other. And now we're kind of at the finish line.
I think,
Yeah. All right. The next item is KC's Boba Tea LLC.
yeah, these are just resolutions for specific payments. The board has already approved these projects in general. We finally got the verification of purchase and payment, for the items on the list. The first one here is K's Boba Tea. I think it's KC's Boba Tea, for $1,679. That was for some specific equipment they're making for.
Their stuff is good. It's my new little addiction. It's right across the street.
They seem to be doing very well. I went to their sort of, I don't know if I could call it grand opening. It was an opening, and they had some samples of lots and lots of different things. They were very excited about being here, so they seem to be doing quite well. The second one we spoke about last week. This is for the press brake that Adirondack Fabrication Services is putting in their new moved space down on Prime Island in one of the vacant warehouses that was down there. I think this thing is something like $100 and something thousand piece of equipment. They're buying quite a bit more, actually, and they'll be expanding. So one of the reasons they moved here was that this space provides them the ability to expand, which it looks like they're planning to do within the next 12 to 18 months. And then the third one is Fullers Mercantile, which is in Chris Patton's building across the street from the inn. Went to the grand opening there, and I believe I saw the mayor there as well as quite a few other folks. I stopped in there the other day. They seem to be doing pretty well. They're very pleased with where they're right now. And so there's that is I think they're repaying this on most of the fit up equipment they were doing. A lot of the setup things, racks, clothing, shelving, different kinds of things that the board approved quite a while ago. Again, these are just the specific numbers to approve the check.
Does anyone wish for me to break these resolutions out one by one, or can we take them all together to approve Casey's Boba Tea, Adirondack Fabrication, and Forest Mercantile
I'm fine with that.
all together?
Yes.
Okay, so is there a motion?
I'll move to approve the 3 payments.
Okay.
Second?
Yeah, the 3, are we approving the projects? Oh, no, we've already.
Payments.
Just the payments. Just the payments. Gotcha. All right.
Okay, so there was a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so those resolutions are approved. Does anyone have any other business? Okay. There's no need for executive session, so I will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned.
8:56. No, sure.
There we go.
We're done. If I gotta stay for 2 hours, it's fine.
I am gonna have you